Hello dear students, once again I am back with another topic. Today we are going to discuss two or three literary terms. The first of which is irony and the second one is metaphor. And apart from these two terms we will also discuss simile. So we are going to start with irony. Irony is a literary term or a literary device which shows the contrast between what is stated and what it actually means. In other words, when we say something, we say it in order to convey something which is totally opposite to what we had said. Means, in order to show the contrast between the intended meaning and literal meaning, irony is used. In simpler words, irony is the difference between what is said and what is meant by us. There is a world of difference between what is stated and what we state actually means. So when there is this opposition between what the words mean and what we want the word to mean, then it means irony is used. I hope I have made the point here. Irony stands for the incongruity or difference between the appearance and reality. It stands for the contrast between the intended meaning and literal meaning, either of a sentence or a word or a situation or an image. When it comes to the types of irony, it is of three types. The simplest of all these three types is verbal irony. Apart from verbal irony, there is a structural irony and dramatic irony. Verbal irony, as the very term itself suggests, has a lot to do with what we say, because verbal stands for what is said, what is uttered. When we say something and what we say is totally opposite to what we intend to say, then it means that we have used verbal irony. Means, if we want to criticize someone who's very close to us, maybe one of our friends, then many a time we do it by saying something which is totally opposite to what it actually means. Means it is different from its literal meaning. Like, if your friend has done something very, very foolish or stupid, you will say, what a great thing you have done. You have done a great job. But here great job is not for praise. We are not praising the friend for doing something foolish. We are criticizing him by saying something which looks like as if we are praising him, but which actually is used for criticizing him, which is actually used to show that what he has or she has done is totally stupid or foolish. So this is verbal irony. Like if someone has been caught red-handed while doing something wrong, and if we say, you are doing such a nice thing, so here it means that what he has done is totally wrong. So this is what we need to keep in mind, that irony is used for conveying something which is totally different from what the words convey, what the words literally mean. The words may mean something, and the idea to be conveyed is totally different from what is stated. So this is the first type of irony, verbal irony. Thereafter, the second type is structural irony. Structural irony occurs when something either in a drama or in a movie or in a story unexpectedly happens, or something which is totally against our expectations, against the expectations of the audience takes place. If you are reading a drama and if you think that the course of events will go in such and such way, but what actually happens is totally unexpected, is totally different from what you had expected, it means that there is the use of structural irony in that work. I hope the point is clear here. Structural irony occurs when the expectations of the audience or the readers is totally jilted or given a shock by the writer in terms of an incident which is totally different from what as a reader you had expected to happen. So this is what we must keep in mind when we go through structural irony, that structural irony also stands for the contrast between what is expected and what actually happens. What actually happens stands for reality, and what is expected stands for what is intended. So in a way, verbal irony and structural irony are almost similar in meaning, though they may look a bit different from each other. As I told you that irony stands for a contrast, or the meaning of the irony is the difference between the stated meaning and the literal meaning. So in structural irony, the same thing happens, that there is a difference or a big gap between what is expected and what actually happens in terms of the events of a drama or a novel or a story or a movie, etc. Let me give you an example of structural irony. There is a short story entitled The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. In that story, a lady sells her long hair to buy a chain for the wrist watch, or for a very valuable watch owned by her husband. Her husband owns a very expensive watch, and that lady sells her long and beautiful hair in order to buy a chain for that watch. And when she comes back home with a chain, she comes to know that her husband has sold that chain in order to buy an expensive comb for her hair. So that is something totally unexpected, because we were expecting the husband to be surprised by the gift that his wife had purchased for him, but our expectations are jilted when we come to know that the husband himself had sold that watch in order to buy a comb, an expensive comb for the beautiful hair of his wife, and those hair are no more, so the comb and the chain are useless in the end. So that is an example of structural irony. Apart from structural irony and verbal irony, the last type of irony is dramatic irony. So dramatic irony means the difference or contrast between what readers know and what characters know. Means a piece of information is known to the readers, but the characters are unaware of that information. Or in other words, we can say that the readers know more than the characters in terms of the events or the course of action that may take place in future. In Romeo and Juliet, towards the end, both Romeo and Juliet take poison to commit suicide, thinking that the other one is dead. Romeo thinks that the Juliet is dead and that is why he commits suicide by taking poison, whereas Juliet thinks that the Romeo is dead and that is why she also takes poison. Here the audience knows that both are alive, whereas the characters are unaware of the reality. Characters do not know the truth, and this is an example of dramatic irony. Apart from it, there is a very famous example of Oedipus Rex. Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, one of the most famous Greek authors. Oedipus, as a king, by chance marries his own mother. The audience knows that Oedipus has committed a sin by marrying his own mother, whereas Oedipus himself is unaware of this reality. And later on, no doubt, he commits suicide for the sin he had committed. But that is a situation which is known to the audience, but the characters themselves are unaware of this reality. So these are a few examples of dramatic irony. So I hope irony and its types are now clear to you. So let us switch over to another term, simile. So simile and metaphor are both types of comparisons. Yes, simile is a sort of comparison between two totally different things. Similarly, metaphor is also a comparison between two totally different things. They may look alike, both simile and metaphor may seem alike, but they are different from each other. They are both figures of speech, whereas simile is a comparison between two unlike things, between two dissimilar things, in which comparison is made by the use of like and as. Whereas metaphor is a direct comparison, in which comparison between two things is made directly without using like and as. In other words, in simpler words, two totally distinct or different things or objects are compared with the use of like and as, then it means simile is used. Or if two totally different and distinct things are compared without using like and as, it means it is a use of metaphor. So metaphor is stronger because it is direct comparison between two totally different things. When it comes to literary writings or when it comes to literature, metaphor and simile are of utmost importance when it comes to impart meaning and depth to writing. Because when it comes to the comparison between two totally different things, the use of simile may look quite awkward, but it is due to the genius of the writer, it is due to the intelligence of the writer that such incongruity or such awkwardness is given a semblance of reality. It is made authentic, it is made genuine, and a lot of depth and profundity is imparted to the work because of the use of such figures of speech as simile and metaphor. Let me give you an example of simile. He is as ferocious as a lion. He is as ferocious as a lion, because here a person is compared with lion, by means of as. He is as ferocious as a lion. So a person has been compared to a lion by using as, so it means it is a simile. But when there is a direct comparison, if I say he is a lion, so that is a direct comparison. It is a stronger comparison because a person has been equated with something else which he is not, which in reality will be totally against the notions of reality that we have. But when we look it in terms of imaginative writing, in terms of creative writing, it looks authentic, genuine, real, and something which is acceptable. So these are the two terms, metaphor and simile. Do go through these literary terms, and if you have any problem, do let me know. So that is all for today. See you again tomorrow. Thanks a lot.